And you call yourself a doctor?
It is okay to be fat. We don't say that enough, but it needs to be normalized. If you are fat, that is okay. It is typically not a problem that requires immediate solving. It is not an emergency. You don't have to drop everything in the pursuit of being not fat. It is okay to not be healthy. We act like it is this moral failing, this cardinal sin that you deserve a scarlet letter if you are not healthy. And there's a name for that, and that's called healthism. Now, don't get me wrong. In my line of work, there's a lot of people that I see that want to gain weight, lose weight, take other measures that they think will improve their health in some way. And by all means, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you with that and be supportive of that. But a good doctor will not judge you for being fat. They will not judge you for being unhealthy. They will not judge the decisions that you made or the decisions that were made for you, which is the much more likely scenario that got you to the point where you are right now.
What the actual
Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Monardy. Fat pride activists dying from obesity. I did a video on this like last week, but it's a big video. There's a lot to take in a sense. So please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
This is like maybe a controversial take, but I don't think that the majority of fat people, until you learn about body liberation and body positivity, no one would choose to continue to be fat in a world where they absolutely hate fat people.
Yes, they would. Because it's an easy choice. You don't have to change anything. You get to indulge in what you enjoy most, eating. So yes, it'd be hard for people to change if that's what they want.
People think that I'm glorifying obesity by spreading the word and like telling everybody about this information. Trust me, I wouldn't recommend anybody be fat in this world. It is horrible. It is so traumatizing. It is so isolating. People are evil. They are cruel. Strangers think it's okay to tell you on the bus, you're fat, you should lose weight, you're disgusting. Like, it's nonstop.
It is okay. They care. This is exactly how Asian families are. I've lived this most of my life. Every time I've been slightly overweight or looked a little chubby, I go see my aunt. You're fat! You need to lose some weight. But here, eat as much as you can. Which is the balance. It's them caring so much they tell you that you probably should be changing your direction, but they love you, but they want to keep feeding you. But they know it's unhealthy. That's why they're telling you. Like, my sister hated this. Everywhere she went, every time she saw my my family, they would always tell her, "Oh my God, you've gained so much weight. Oh my God, you gained so much weight." And she hates it. And I'm like, why do you hate it? If you hate it, then you should do something about it. Not just keep taking it and being upset about it. Because it's not going to stop people from judging. This is the part where I think, oh, you shouldn't judge people. People don't judge. That's exactly what humans do. We judge and we judge harshly. First impressions matter.
And that leads to people isolating themselves and like seeking comfort through food. And this is like maybe a controversial.
Exactly. You're seeking comfort through food, which is your vice already, which is part of the deadly sins, gluttony. But you guys aren't trying to critique people from stopping them to do that. You're just saying, it's okay. We're not judging you. You can just keep doing it. And people are dying. That's the thing. Kids shouldn't be aspiring to be a bigger girl.
This one's new.
A bigger model. So I think it's a good thing that these are in the clearance.
Yeah, that says a lot.
And I think it's a good thing, right? Because if these are off the shelves, that means these little girls are seeing this as that's what they want to be. They want to be like these bigger Barbie type dolls. I'm glad. Like, stop pushing to be so inclusive in everything for this body positivity, this fat positivity movement. There shouldn't be that many fat people in movies. There shouldn't be that many obese people in a lot of media. because it really shows the youth down there. Oh, it's okay. There's so many big people, and it's okay to be big. I'm not saying it's completely wrong to be big, but it's showing, it's kind of glorifying. Oh, look at this big person. He was able to be a billionaire at this age, at this size. Yeah, you could do it too at your size. That's what it's kind of trying to push.
To this very day, leftists still insist that political correctness is just being nice to people. And virtually every day, the real world itself proves the exact opposite. That even outside of its myriad of threats to free speech, social cohesion, and the nature of reality itself, political correctness can be deadly.
It's so deadly that it's making licensed professional doctors coming out to say that it's not unhealthy to be unhealthy. It's okay to be unhealthy. It's okay to be fat and overweight. Like, it's not an immediate problem. This is why a lot of these fat influencers really don't see the problem, because there's people in their ears, professionals in their ears, media in their ears, telling them the exact opposite. No, you're living your best life. You're doing good. Just keep doing what you're doing. There's nothing unhealthy about it until they drop dead before they're 40.
Example, body positivity. For years, regime outlets have pushed the dangerous hoax that obesity is healthy. Perhaps most infamously, Cosmopolitan magazine literally proclaiming this is healthy. And most recently, Southwest Airlines giving out free tickets for the next seat to obese Americans on planes.
Now you're getting so much privileges as a fat person. It is so crazy that a fat person has more privileges than a regular able-bodied person in society nowadays. Before, these people would get shamed. I'm not saying that they should be, in a sense, like fully like, oh, you're fat, you shouldn't be able to do anything kind of shame. But they used to be embarrassed of themselves, a little bit slightly embarrassed to be in public like that. And it wasn't a good thing, but it wasn't a bad thing. It kept people in check. It kept a lot of women in check. Now that women have been given this reins to do and think whatever, this is what they choose. They always choose the unhealthiest. They choose the worst way to go about almost everything.
As well as the relentless promotion of influencers like plus-sized model Tess Holliday, who at 5'3" and 300 pounds has a BMI of 53, more than double the healthy range. But more insidiously, the subtle normalization of obesity by fashion companies, advertisers, and cultural institutions. By the
right? We're getting posters everywhere. We're getting billboards everywhere. There's big mannequins. I would have never imagined in my whole goddamn life that I would have seen plus-size mannequins all over the place. And it's not just a few big and tall type stores. No, they're everywhere. As if it's the norm. And people wonder why people are passport bros. Maybe people don't like big women.
Increased exposure of obese bodies in the name of diversity and inclusivity. And now we see the devastating consequences. These 4 social media influencers were swept up by a movement that claims obesity is perfectly healthy. The tragic truth is they have all died under the age of 45.
Yeah, my last video was a little bit more soft in the tone. I'm a little more harsh on this tone. I actually had a gentleman reach out to me wanting to share his story about his obesity and his weight problem with his mother also that just recently passed. I'm actually going to try to do an interview, maybe slash some kind of thing with this gentleman so he can spread his word around, because he really wants to push how this is so unhealthy.
Of course, we're not reveling in these tragedies. This isn't an I told you so, it's a warning to try to help others. Brittany Sauer, a 28-year-old TikToker, had spent years defiantly promoting body positivity content. She couldn't leave the house because of type 2 diabetes and repeated bouts of the skin infection cellulitis, which had caused...
Again, my brother has type 2 diabetes. He got it when he was 18. We were going to get him life insurance, or we were going to renew his life insurance with a new company, and he was 18 now, so he required a blood test. He failed the blood test. That's how we actually figured out that he had diabetes. He took that blood test, and they were like, he has type 2 diabetes. you need to take him to the doctor.
Caused a growth in her pelvis weighing more than 2 stone. Her final video featured Sauer admitting she had ruined her life with food and binge eating.
I ruined my life with food, binge eating, and lack of self-care. And I want you to know that it's not worth it. Food's not worth your life.
She died shortly after. TikTok star Waffler69 made a career out of posting videos of himself eating giant portions of bizarre food. He died of a presumed heart attack at just 33 years old. Body positivity...
And don't think for a fucking second that I'm celebrating any of this, that I'm happy about any of this. Like, this is sadness to me. Sadness beyond what a lot of you guys can comprehend than how I feel about it. You know, this affects me. This affected me. This has affected my own family. This still affects my family now. It's a problem.
Activist and self-described professor of fat studies, Dr. Kat Pawsey, presented a fat-positive radio show in which she questioned the links between weight and health. Pawsey said obese people and even morbidly obese people have just as good health or better health than someone in the normal weight range.
See, people like her, I do have a problem with. That you're promoting that there's nothing wrong with it. I think a lot of these fat influencers, they don't realize it. But when you're pushing the propaganda saying there's nothing different between a healthy, normal weight person and an overweight person, that is beyond false. You're lying out of your teeth. I need to put in that clip. Why you fucking lying?
Died aged just 42 years old. Jamie Lopez, who starred in US reality TV show Supersized Salon, which centered around obese women getting beauty treatments and featured the catchphrase, "Go big or go home." Lopez said she felt discriminated against for being a plus-sized makeup artist and wanted women like her to feel confident and sexy. And despite subsequently changing course and losing half her body weight, Lopez died from heart complications aged just 37. Many of us have struggled with our weight at some point in our lives. But since when has the solution been to just keep doing what caused the problem in the first place? Please don't fall for the body positivity psyop. It could literally end up killing you.
I saw this video on Dr. Sean Baker or on his feed for Instagram, and I thought, what, yet again, another great video to share with all of you so that we can see the idiocy and the lunacy that is part of our health structure, both not only here in America, but in the West generally, as this is out of the UK, if I'm not mistaken. Let's listen to this one here, this beacon of health and wellness and energy. Let's listen to her and hear what she has to say about what it takes to be healthy.
That is an absolute fact. And there is literally no evidence that weight loss is going to benefit anybody's health, whether they're a child or an adult. I'm willing to stake my medical career on the fact that you...
And again, these medical professionals are willing to stake their careers on these facts. So yes, I can see how some people fall for this and some people think it's okay because there's enough propaganda coming at them saying, you know what, everybody seems to like okay with me being fat, so I'll just keep doing it.
You are that the lies that we've been sold about obesity, especially childhood obesity, are not true. They are there to benefit the weight loss industry. That is an absolute fact. And there is literally no evidence that weight loss is going to benefit anyone.
Seriously. I mean, she seriously said that. We all saw it. That's a medical doctor who legitimately just put her license on the line to prove or to say how strongly she believes that being fat has nothing to do with being healthy. It's crazy.
And the child obesity thing is not an issue. How is that not an issue? My brother got diabetes at 18. That means he was a very unhealthy child. I know a lot of little children out there that are quite massive for being little children. Why? Because their parents have the same health and weight lifestyle. And it's passing down to them. And if the parents think it's healthy and perfectly fine, guess what they're going to do? They're going to pass it down to their kids. They're going to feed their kids. They're going to get their kids fat.
It's insane. weight loss doesn't benefit anybody's health. Who out there of all of you would not in a heartbeat, if you are 350, I've said this before, 400 pounds, 300 pounds, let's say you're 5'7" and 250 pounds, who wouldn't snap their fingers and want to be in the kind of shape that I'm in, or other people that you see? Who?
I'm 5'7" at 160 pounds. I'm like 158 now. I'm still trying to lose a little bit, cutting down a little bit, so then I bulk back up with my muscles. I've actually lost a little bit of muscle mass trying to like slim down.
Wouldn't do that? Y'all would. Everybody would.
That we would.
This big girl here would. We all know it. This is just cover. This is cover for people who have something to gain by either feeding meds to people all day long, or people who are justifying their own crappy behavior, their own crappy habits, their own food addictions.
It's both, good sir. It's like food companies and pharmaceutical companies came together and were just like, all right, we're going to feed them the cheapest shit possible with the worst amount of fucking nutrients. Like, good. Because if you do that, then I get to charge them as much as I want for their shitty health. Like, oh, great. If you charge them for as much as your shitty health, you're going to subsidize some of my things. And boom, now you get unhealthy people all over the place on meds.